Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and oh my gosh, apparently there's a Dubai Meetup going on right now, which I should have known about because I know Cortex is there. And I got a bunch of pictures from Mars Invasion from the meetup. So I'm going to share the pictures. I think it's okay for me to do so. If it's not okay, I'll take the video down. But this is in the meetup. It's now live. So here we go. This is insane. We have new infantry heroes, some new event stuff, and like also fundamentally, like some of my things that I've shared as like, hey, from a game design philosophy standpoint, here are the problems that I think should be solved are also getting solved, which is like, I actually love when I'm able to, anyways, you'll see. You'll see exactly what I mean, okay? First up, infantry commander, and it's infantry garrison Smite. I'm not going to try to pronounce game names right now. I got so much going on. I actually have a pass opening I need to attend to in Call of Dragons in a minute here. So let's get a look at this, okay? Let's find the active skill. Where is it? Over here. All right, so active skill, rage requirement 1000. My apologies for the picture quality. I have what I have here. Deals smite damage to target troop, damage factor 2,400, and reduces its defense by 10% for 3 seconds. This commander's troop gains a damage-absorbing mighty shield for 2 seconds, factor of 600. I will say this. I feel like there isn't really an all-in for shields yet. It would be cool if there was. Shielding is definitely cool. When we think about what this skill is doing, we are talking about 3,000 factor of goodness, right? 600 of that comes in the shield. 2,400 comes from the smite damage. It is not AoE damage, though. So we have Gorgo, and obviously we have this new commander. You put them together, and we're talking about smite damage to a single target, which could be fine. It needs anti-swarm if it doesn't have AoE. And there's a lot you can do when a garrison doesn't have AoE. AoE is like the free trade equalizer, even when you're getting wrecked. If the enemy messes up with the AoE, and they always do, always. I don't care what kingdom you're in. Almost every kingdom in the game blunders on getting hit by AoE. Right? It ends up being a big deal. Anyways, next skill. Whenever this commander's troop launches a basic attack or a counter attack, their infantry units have a 25% chance to gain 30% attack. Okay. Infantry units gain 10% defense and 10% march speed. Interesting open field skill here, right? This is an open field infantry units gaining this. I mean, I guess for garrison, if you were doing mixed, the fact that it's infantry, but the march speed is an infantry thing. But the fact that it's 25% chance on a counter attack as well means when you're getting swarmed, you're going to get close to pretty much 100% uptime on this. There's no internal cooldown listed. It lasts for 4 seconds. Theoretically, you should have 100% uptime on this. I don't even know why they don't just give you, like, why make this based on basic or counters at all? I'm not really sure. I actually have no clue why you would do that. It just makes this skill more complicated, right? Because if a basic or a counter can trigger this, I mean, I guess we'll read later on as to why they might do it this way. But that means you've got a 25% chance when you're getting normal attacked, okay, basic attacked, and a 25% chance when you counter attack. So like you have 2 opportunities to trigger this every turn. Like you'd expect every 2 turns this triggers. So like why? Why give them a buff? I'm not sure. As opposed to why not just like have it be passive, but whatever. I don't know what the order of these skills is. I guess this is 3 out of 4. So if this commander is the garrison commander, the garrison deals 10% more damage. Whenever the garrison deals damage, there's a 25% chance to cleanse poison, slow, exhaust, or normal damage debuffs. Okay. I mean, 10% more damage is good. When you deal smite damage, you clear these effects. It also gains a stack of Tosho effect for 10 seconds. Each stack increases the health of the garrison's infantry by 5%. Stacking 4 times. So you can get 20% health, which is nice, and 10% more damage. That's a good skill, and clears debuffs. That's a very good skill. That is very good. Cleansing only 1 debuff is not going to help you when you're getting swarmed, but like garrisoning against a rally, obviously that's decent. Then we've got this Gambit skill. If this commander is a garrison commander, so a lot committed to garrison skills here, whenever the garrison receives a buff, there it is. That was the thing where I was like, why make this skill a buff? There has to be a buff synergy, and there it is. Whenever they receive a buff, they have a 50% chance to gain a damage-absorbing mighty shield. Ooh, factor 1,200. Okay. This thing is going to shield like crazy. Now we're talking about a shield synergy garrison possibility. I still feel like we don't have a shield main synergy going on yet, unless you use this with Hera. I think you could have a mixed garrison shield synergy situation for real. For real. Like I actually think for the first time, and I don't know how long, like Hollow Square is a very real possibility. Way better than Hera YSS. Hera YSS? Yeah. Way better. Okay. So final skill here, presumably this is the expertise. Whenever this commander's troop launches a basic or a counter, it has a 15% chance, 30 if it has a shield, to deal smite damage to 3 enemies. There's the AoE damage! In a fan area, 300 factor, every additional target reducing that damage dealt, but a 10-second cooldown. So this can only scale so much, but still decent. Still decent. It's good to have some way to deal AoE damage. I think this commander slaps. I think they're amazing. I'm going to max them. I don't yet know exactly how I'm going to pair them, but they slap. And let's go look at the next one, the open fielder. Thankfully for this, I have a higher quality image. Bai Qi. Is that their name? Bai Qi? Anyways, let's go get a look here. Active skill. Oh, wait, what are the talent trees? Infantry, versatility, and smite again. I'm really anxious about this because if I was betting money, I would have bet that there'd be a skill damage synergy here, because otherwise Ragnar Prime is getting left sort of strung out to dry, which makes me really uncomfortable. But okay, let's get a look here. What do we have? Let heaven and earth grieve. Deal smite damage up to 5 enemy troops in a fan. Well, this guy's going to be the GOAT. The actual GOAT. Damage factor, 2,400. Every additional target reduces the damage to each target by 15%. Each target has a 30% chance to take 15% extra damage. Okay. That seems decent. I mean, 5 targets, 2,400 damage factor, and it's smite. I'm in. Going to be the GOAT in the open field. It almost doesn't matter what else is happening. Breaker of the battle lines. Infantry, 28% march speed, 10% health, and 40% attack. Seems good. Then I think we go over here. Ravager of land and spirit. If this commander's troop is attacking a troop on the map, their troop gains 10 stacks of malice effect whenever it uses an active skill. So use an active skill, gain 10 stacks. If its number of malice stacks is higher than the target's percentage of units remaining, it'll spend 10 malice to deal smite damage to the target, 300 factor. It also gains a 10% bonus to sev wounds inflicted by 20%. Oh, wait. It gains a 10% bonus to sev wounds inflicted and a 20% bonus to rage recovery speed for 1 second. Cooldown of 1 second. This is complicated. So every time I use an active skill on a troop on a map, I get 10 stacks of malice. So the first time this happens, I have 10 stacks of malice, and it's going to check, are my malice stacks higher than the percent of units remaining? Let's say my enemy is at 90% of troops left. The answer is going to be no. So then nothing else happens. And then when I use another active skill, it's going to go up to now 2 stacks of malice, or sorry, 20 stacks of malice, right? And we're going to check. Is the target 20% or less? No? Okay, nothing happens. So then on the next skill cycle, maybe I get up to 30 stacks of malice. This just feels like it's going to be really hard to stack. You're going to need to do a lot of skill cycles. And call me crazy, but like this is like a Philip synergy. This is really begging for a Philip synergy. Like, because you get extra activations of active skills. So you could get that malice going, but like, is it even worth it? I don't know. This is really hard to say. Maybe there'll be something else to get malice stacks. When this commander's troop deals 10% more damage, normal damage. Okay. When attacking field troops, they get 10 stacks of malice on entering combat. See, I knew there had to be something. I'm reacting to this the first time. I have a pass opening in Call of Dragons I have to get back to. So like, I'm seeing it, I'm making the video, and like, here we are, right? 10 stacks of malice when you enter combat. 10 stacks of malice for every 10% of units you lose. Okay. There we go. So there's going to be a lot of ways to gain stacks of malice quickly. A 5% bonus to smite damage dealt, up to 30% for every 10% of units missing. So as you lose units, you gain smite damage dealt. This is a lot like Honda Tadakatsu's 4th skill, actually. And it says non-rallied / garrison troops on the map. So when attacking a field troop, that is interesting. I feel like attacking field troops used to work against rallies, but I think actually what I'm thinking of is when attacking like on the map. So they're defining a field troop as something different than like on the map or rally garrisoned. So okay. So it doesn't work when you're swarming a rally. That's an example. Or swarming a garrison. All right. Blood for blood. If this commander's troop is on the map, after Sev wounding 400,000 enemy units, it gains a 5% bonus to normal damage. That's a lot to Sev wound, isn't it? Isn't that like an insane amount to Sev wound? Doesn't that only work in like a rally garrison? Help me out, chat. What am I missing? That's a lot. So what else does it do? Because when am I getting this? I don't know. You have to be just like popping off. When reduced to 50% of units remaining, I deal 60% more damage and take 30% less damage for the next 6 seconds. Shajar did this. Constantine had an effect like this, but we don't heal. We just deal more damage and take less damage. This is like a Leonidas-like effect in some ways with the deal more damage portion. It's like a blend of Leo and Shajar. When reduced to 15% of units remaining, deal 100% more damage and take 50% less damage for the next 6 seconds. This is very tanky. This effect can trigger once per hour, resets if the commander enters your city. This is, I mean, it's a staple in Canyon because of that series of effects. This commander looks amazing. They look amazing. How are we going to pair the new commander? There's so many options. I mean, without thinking too much about it, it seems like Philip plus this commander seems really good, potentially. Obviously, Liu Cha with this commander seems really, really good. I mean, the fact that you're enhancing smite damage over here feels to me like you want to pair with another smite commander in a perfect world. So we are looking at a world now where you could run multiple smite-based armies. I mean, the thing that really makes me worried here is I said long ago that I was worried about the role of skill damage. I actually would have, because of how mid a lot of people feel William was. In fact, I mean, a lot of people feel William is extremely mid and you wouldn't even bother with him if you have Alexander the Great. Given that information, I would have assumed that this commander would be a really good Ragnar pair, and it would be kind of like the Arthur dual role situation. It's not. There's nothing here for skill damage. So this actually preys on my big fear of Ragnar, is like, he's good now. Will he get support? And the short answer is no. Granted, Ragnar Skippy still slaps. So like if we're talking about 2 infantry marches right now, you would use this guy on Liu Cha, right? And like Ragnar Skippy. Weirdly, Skippy lives on? Question mark? Right? Am I missing something? Let me know your thoughts, okay? And for a weirdo like me, I think I finally benched the Guan. Because I have Philip and I have leadership gear-ish, leadership gear-ish. So like for the weirdos out there, yeah, I mean, it's still obviously a W, but I really was expecting the possibility of some skill damage here. I don't know if I had talked about that recently, but I had this hunch and I was wrong. So GG's. Now this brings us to a bunch of other things that are being mentioned in the Dubai Meetup. And like, obviously I'll make another video with more information as I have it. But long ago, a game design concept or principle that I shared is that your leader's time is valuable. They are taxed tremendously. When your leaders can't contribute to the game state, groups really struggle, okay? And so I said, any way you can reduce a leader's time is a W. KVK flag presets is an interesting way of addressing this, right? Because right now, KVK opens, if you're in the United States anyways, at like 8 p.m. Okay. And then it takes 2 hours to build a fort. And then you're going to pop building buff, but like, are you supposed to stay up all night building flags into a new zone? How's that supposed to go? You have to have like another part of the world handoff officer to give it to, right? So alliances can plan out their KVK flag placement in advance, and when conditions are met, they're placed automatically. Seems good to me. Seems good to me. There's a lot of reasons why this is a W. And there's a lot of ways this will be used that I think is really good. Reducing burden on leaders is a no-brainer and very good. I love this. KVK ratings. Lost kingdoms can earn ratings based on their total number of kills and deaths. Lost kingdoms rated S+ or S will unlock better quests in the Hall of Heroes. Honestly, just do what Chisgule says for the design of the game. Honestly, I've just been calling shots for ages. So like 4 years ago, I said that KVK rewards should scale with KVK intensity. Like, I just spent like 90 billion resources on my main account, and losing KVK, I feel like I got like almost nothing as a reward for my efforts. Almost nothing. Like, no account progression, falling far behind, feel like I can't catch up. That's just how I feel about my account right now, my main account. And of course, one on my restart account. And I a gazillion years ago, 4 years ago, I said that KVK rewards should scale with the intensity of the KVK, because it doesn't make sense to me anyways that kingdoms can fight so hard and get so little in a loss. The incentive is to not create those fights that are just better experiences, but those experiences should be rewarded, not punished. Today, they are punished. If you take a risk and you lose, sucks to suck, and I would know. So, yeah, I also know what it's like to win, so I know both sides of this. My restart always wins, and my main account... Anyways, I don't always lose on the main. But even though that's what people say, I literally just won a couple KVKs in a row on the main. But whatever, this was an L, this last one. So this to me makes sense. Now, better quests in the Hall of Heroes is not necessarily better rewards. So it depends on what the quests are. It really depends on what these quests are. I'm very curious. I think this could be a big win. Complete those quests to earn gems, resources, and speed ups. Okay, it's not as much of a win as I thought. I think they need to push on this much further. I think they need to push on this way further. Like way, 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 way further. In the form of KVK rewards, in my opinion. And I know both sides of the equation on a very personal level. So I'm not saying I'm right, but I am. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But this is still a W. It just needs to go way further, in my opinion. Now, I may have a picture of what this more gem... I don't know. Maybe I don't have a picture of these quests. Let's see what I have pictures of. There's new Alliance gameplay, Alliance bosses, and Caravan Looting. Caravan Looting. So I have seen like a dozen games that have... Okay, maybe half a dozen games that have these caravans, or like trucks or trains, or, you know, there's always something getting escorted. So the way I've seen this work in other games is that basically you set heroes or commanders to defend them, and then other players, as the caravan, which has some amount of loot in it, goes to its destination, you can attack other players' caravans. And typically you're fighting against other servers in this style of event, so you can loot other players' caravans and take some of that loot. So, as an example, you know, you in this style of event that I've seen, you want to get like the rarest caravan possible for the best loot in the caravan. Often you have to spend gems refreshing, and there's like randomness to do that. And then you set your heroes to go escort it, and then they go escort it. And then often you can put heroes available for other people to use, like on loan to defend their caravan as well. And you get points for that or rewards for that. So there's a lot of ways caravan looting could go, but that is a game mode that is extremely standard in this genre. It's been that way for, I want to say, like at least half a year to a year that I've seen this game mode floating around. And just like Alliance Mobilization, and when that landed, I was like, yes, this is very popular in this genre. It absolutely makes sense to have a mode like this. I feel the same way about Caravan Looting. I think it's a solid ad. This Alliance boss situation, I don't know. To me, that doesn't look like a boss. It looks to me like a PvE thing that gets attacked or rallied. And to me, that does not, with no words to it, I'm like, bro, I don't need a thing to go DPS periodically. That just sounds like a chore, personally. Whereas this does not. Even though they both are things that like need to be done periodically, et cetera, et cetera. Like this is very fun. And if this is just a DPS check or whatever, that's going to feel to me potentially like a chore. But I don't know any rules. I don't know anything about it. So I'm prejudging without any information. I'm sure that the design here will be interesting. But when I see like Alliance boss and it's like a city, I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll see what it is. Crystal tech updates. Oh God. Reduced crystal costs and greater customization. Pre-unlocked core technology for faster progression. Gifting runes. I don't know what to make of this. Reduced crystal costs and greater customization. We'll see. Maybe it's better, maybe it isn't. Only when we get a look at the details will we know. Crystal tech has changed in the past. People look at every detail, obviously. So I would hope it's better. Of course, I'm optimistic that it is better. But, you know, and, the devs have been on fire. Like, changes have been good. So if they continue on the trend of good changes, then this is likely to be a good change. And, like, customization can be fine. But I am a little anxious about customization because it's, like, kind of not fun to be a rally lead and like to have to sacrifice everything for my rally or garrison and to feel like I'm behind in the field. I mean, maybe that's not the worst. But it's like, you know, I like fielding. I don't like having to choose. But whatever. What next? Supreme Strife awaits. Valiant Warriors. Cross-kingdom teams. Skill customization. Huge refunds. Enjoy the mayhem of a pure KVK experience. Cross-kingdom teams could be cool. Skill customization could be cool. I don't know. Could be a cool mode. Supreme Strife. Then enjoy the mayhem of a pure KVK experience. Looks just like a Zig fight. Kind of. Are there flags? How does this work? Eager to see what this looks like. I'm game for new game modes. We'll find out. Up next. Returns. Invincible Spirit? Okay. So maybe this is the quests for extra goodies when you get to end of season. But do you remember? Look at this. Speedups returned. There it is. Healing Speedups returned. I mean, on the topic of Chisgule's calling the shots, and it's funny, I say I'm calling the shots, but it's like anyone could figure this out. Like literally any governor could tell you that they need resources back after KVK and they need speedups back after KVK. I'm not some oracle. I'm not some genius. You know, I'll point to the fact that I said these things and that it's really cool that they're happening. But like, you play the game and it's beyond obvious that you need these things. Like beyond obvious, right? I spent like 3,000 plus days of speedups in the last KVK healing troops. It's beyond obvious. Like if you want players to play more, they have to have resources. They have to have speed ups. They got to come from somewhere. And I'll tell you, like, I can't spend to keep up with that. I can't. Like, the reason I can spend speed ups like that is because GV is generating a jaw-dropping amount of speed ups from bundles. Like, but they have to come from somewhere, right? And like, for your average player that's not in like basically 1960 or GV77, you can't generate those speed ups to keep up, man. You can't. I don't know if yeah. Anyways, this is a W. It's a fat W. I'm glad it's here. This is another one of those shots that I called a long time ago. And like, it just makes sense to me, man. Like, even the math of this just makes sense. Like, sure, maybe people buy less speed ups. Who cares? They're going to play KVKs more and buy more crystal technology. Like, I don't know what the math is, but it's got to work out. And guess what is more fun than off season is actually playing KVKs. So like, what if you could just play KVKs more? Good change. W, big W. I love all this. New commanders definitely surprised me. I don't really think I was expecting double smite. I think this is awesome. Leave some comments down below. I was definitely feeling very, very, very burned out after the 960, 2377 KVK. And for me, it's just been nonstop. Like, I need to go right now back to a Call of Dragons pass opening right now. But this is very reinvigorating for me personally. I was really feeling the burnout in a very intense way. And this is so cool to see. W's. Enjoy the video, throw a like on here, subscribe. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everybody.